Today, we want to talk about why you should not pitch your songs to publishers. All right, everybody, welcome back. It's always good to see you. If you're on YouTube, you're seeing us. If you're on Apple or Spotify, one of those places listening, we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
You can't see that Clay and I are having really good hair days today, and all going well. Today, we want to talk about why you should not pitch your songs to publishers, or why that should not be the thought process anyway that you come from, because we want to suggest a better way to interact with publishers. And Clay and I recently interviewed a publisher for a potential job spot here at SongTown, and one of the comments she made was, we're talking about our edge groups where people meet with a publisher monthly and they get feedback and that kind of stuff. And she said, I love that because at most of the events I do, it's kind of a one off thing. And it's really hard from one song to tell what a songwriter brings to the table. And Clay and I were like, yes, that's exactly our philosophy has always been, when you're meeting with a publisher, you're really pitching yourself more than your songs. And so we're going to talk a little bit. Clay, you want to start, like, what things about yourself are you wanting to pitch, and how do we get out of that mentality of it's just all about this one song? I've got one chance to play a song.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to back up 1 second because, you know, the comments of the publisher to us was that they've done these speed dating kind of things where people are playing songs. And I just thought it was what I always thought about publishers and what we always say, don't pitch songs to publishers, pitch yourself. And she was saying that exact thing. She said, when I do these pitch to publisher events, I don't have the time to spend with the writer to get a feel for what they bring to the table. That's what, you know, publishers don't do. And I know that Songtown Edge does single song contracts, but when we do single song contracts, it's because you've been working with that publisher every month and they've gotten to know you. And a lot of these pitch to publisher events where a writer is hoping to sign a single song contract, that publisher hasn't got to know them yet. And for that reason, a lot of the major, Sonys and those people, they don't really mess with single song contracts. What they're looking for is a great writer. And so I think if you want to make your way in the songwriting world, check out how you can present yourself to that publisher. Let them know your skill set. Do I do tracks? Am I a great melody person? Am I a great demo singer who also comes up with great melodies? Am I a lyricist that comes up with killer ideas and works well with other people? Am I a positive person in the room? Like our buddy Jason Duke, one of his superpowers is when he's in a co-writing room, he's so super positive that it just makes everyone relax and everyone be more creative. So you kind of have to be able to let a publisher know what your superpowers are and show them a body of work, 4 or 5 songs perhaps, where you're consistently nailing it and not just pitching one song and hoping they sign it and they go out and make it a number one, because the odds of that happening are very slim.
Yeah, and some of those events that I've witnessed or been a part of in some way, the the publishers don't even know it's anonymous. So they're like drawing
Yeah.
a CD out of a box, playing it, and they have no idea if you're a serial killer or a person that they don't want to work with. Clay and I have both got stories about publishing companies we worked at that people came in and were just obnoxious. And, so publishers, when they're listening like that and they don't even know who the person is, it's like, do I want to get into a relationship with this person? Because if I'm doing a single song contract or signing a writer, I'm in a business relationship with that person, and it matters what kind of person that is. I want people that have values that are similar to mine. I want people that have integrity. I don't want people that are name droppers or that are full of themselves and, telling me how great they are. And so, it's just kind of like a blind date in a way if you're
Hmm.
not really having an opportunity to develop a relationship with that person. And, there have been publisher meetings that I had early in my career where I didn't even play them a song. I just talked to them about
Yeah.
what I'm looking for, what they're looking for. Um, and, sometimes they decided maybe I was not what they were looking for, and I decided they're not what I'm looking for. But that to me was way more important than, hey, do you like this song? And, too, I look at back on my career and I go, if I had to pick one song to represent me and my writing, I don't know how I would do that. I mean,
Yeah.
my writing is diverse and there's a lot of different things I do. And so, just having that little sample of one or two or three songs to play somebody is not going to give them a full picture of who you are. So, Clay, let's talk a little bit about what are the alternatives to that.
Well, I mean, if you've been lucky enough through ASCAP or BMI or someone that sets you up with a publisher, and you're lucky enough to sit down and play a song for a publisher, then man, I would be trying to first and foremost, before I go in there, find out what kind of writers they have. If you're just like another writer they have, there's no reason for them to sign you. So I would try to find out what they have, what they don't have, and can I feel like a niche that they don't have at their company? And so if I went in, I would want to present them songs that kind of played in that direction. But ultimately, what I think you're hoping for is to make enough of an impression that they go, hey, well, I'd like to set you up with one of my writers and see how it goes. And if
Yeah.
you write a great song with one of their writers, maybe they hook you up with another writer. The next thing you know, you're in a working relationship with that publisher and his staff. Then you've got a chance of being signed as a writer, that you've made a relationship. They know you can deliver. And it all goes back to being able to deliver and being a good person to be around.
Yeah. And another way that I recommend to people is, follow publishers on social media that you'd be interested in working with and
Mhm.
develop a relationship with them online. Comment on their things, congratulate them on successes. And then if you get a chance to meet that person someday at a show or wherever you might be, go up and say, hey, I follow you on social media. Congrats on that thing that just happened. Could I buy you a coffee or a beer and pick your brain for a few minutes? That kind of approach is going to go so much farther than just, oh, you heard one of my songs one time at this thing where you heard 100 other songs. It's
Yeah.
developing some sort of personal rapport. And, in Songtown, we try to accomplish that by we have mentoring that publishers do. So you can actually sit down with them and go, hey, where am I going wrong? What do I need to do? What direction should I head? And we have our edge groups where you meet monthly with publishers and you get feedback. And then those publishers can, if they want to, sign a song and actually go pitch those songs for you, which we've had a publisher get a writer a cut from that method.
Mhm.
But you want to just think about the idea of I'm pitching myself more than I'm pitching my songs to publishers.
Right.
You pitch your songs really to artists and producers and managers, people that are going to cut your song, not so much publishers. You're pitching that relationship. You're pitching that you want to be perceived as a person that they want to help, and that they want to partner with in business.
Absolutely. And we also, this just happened too. You mentioned we got a song cut from one of the Edge groups, but in Sync, we just got a Sync placement from our Sync Edge group. So the reason that stuff works is that you're building that relationship with the publisher. So if the publisher says to you, hey, I'd like to pitch this song and sign a contract on it, you've already established that relationship. What I hate seeing is when a writer goes to some speed pitch thing and the publisher kind of likes the song and signs it, and you sign over all your publishing, and you think you've started a relationship with that publisher, but a year later you haven't really got a relationship continuing with that publisher. And I saw one of our members told me, he goes, yeah, I signed a single song contract to this publisher, publisher X, and he saw me playing out a year later and heard that song because I played it on stage. And he came up and said, I love that song. I'd like to sign it. And our friend, that we know said, well, you already signed it last year. So that's what you don't want to happen. And that's because you did not have a relationship first with the
Yeah.
publisher. You were hoping that you were so song focused that you were, and I did it too when I started out, but you're hoping
Yeah.
they're going to hear that song and they're going to go get it cut and I'm going to have a number one. And so what we just wanted to let everybody know today is sell yourself, be a great writer and let the world know your skills, develop your co-writing network, and you'll be introduced to those publishers. If any of your co-writers have a publishing deal. I know for me, several of my deals over the years have come because I've co-written with a songwriter and their publisher really liked what we were doing, So it's co-writing is a powerful thing.
Yeah. And take an honest assessment of your skill set so that when you meet with a publisher, you can go, like when I walk into a publisher, if I'm looking for a deal with them or something, I say, I'm really strong with ideas and with lyrics. I need help melodically. So I write best with people who are great guitar players and great singers and great melody people. And publishers appreciate me telling them my strengths and my weaknesses. So, don't make the mistake of going in and going, I'm great at everything. You should sign me,
Right.
But take a real honest assessment of where you're strong and where you're weaker. And maybe that'll give them ideas of people they could set you up with. So
Yeah.
hope this has been helpful. Go ahead, Clay. What were you going to say?
No, that's it, man. I like it. I like that
All right.
advice. I was gonna add though that yeah, we all tend to have one superpower. Maybe you're strong at melody, you're strong at lyrics, but I think or strong at building tracks, whatever it is. But I think there are some people that are not great at every one of those things, but they're good at every one of those things. So I look at them like utility people on baseball teams. They can play a lot of different positions. So that publisher knows I can set them up in any situation and they can fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
So, if you're not great at everything, really good at everything, there could still be a place for you if you're good at working with people.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Clay, who is Songtown on Songwriting powered by?
We are powered by Sweetwater, and they are very powerful. Believe me, I've cut some demos of some of my hits on Sweetwater gear. So I'm
There you
thankful to
go.
Sweetwater. But like this just happened to me. I got a demo piece of gear. They call it demo gear. It's the stuff that's displayed in their stores and people are, banging on demo guitars and trying things out or whatever. So I ordered a piece of gear, and when I got it, it was not really working right like it should. So I called them back. They called the manufacturer. They shipped me a brand new, not even another demo unit. They shipped me a brand new unit and paid for the return. I mean, their customer
That's
service is
awesome.
just A1. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right, check them out in the show notes. Links in there to Songtown, which we would love for you to check out with a worldwide community of songwriters. And we will see you next Tuesday.